Hi, Emmy. Hi, Allie. Today we're going to talk about personal history. This is all stuff that my family received after our cousin, Sister Mary Christine Ryle, died. Some of it's over 100 years old. Let's start here. This is a 1933 yearbook that belonged to my grandfather's sister, Elizabeth Victoria McLone. Elizabeth, better known as Betty, was Chris's mother. Now, I should tell you why all this is out. It's because I have to do a theology report on Chris. I'm not very happy about it, only because I really don't like theology. But it's an interesting opportunity, even though I never knew any of these people except for Chris. Here's my great-aunt Betty. A lot of people wrote in her yearbook. It seemed like she was really nice. I thought it was interesting that she wrote down here that she wanted to be a social worker. She ended up being a teacher. Here's another picture of her. And here is her wedding announcement. She married Henry. This is Henry. They traveled a lot together. Here's the itinerary from one trip they took later on. They traveled all over Europe, and it lasted a month. They went to Germany, Denmark, Switzerland, Holland, France, England, and Ireland. Then they had Chris. Here's Chris as a little baby. Isn't she cute? And Chris grew. And grew. And grew. And grew. Here's Chris at her senior prom. I think it's a pretty dress. And she grew. And Chris graduates and becomes a nun. And gets her doctorate. And continues to get older. While Chris is getting older, her parents get older too. There's Betty. And Betty again. See how much she ages in just 8 years. Looks like Mrs. Claus, doesn't she? Well, then Henry dies. I like the passage that Chris bookmarked with his prayer card. You can pause the video and read it if you like, but I'm not going to read it to you. There were a lot of condolence letters. Then Betty died too. And eventually, so did Chris. Now, all of this got me thinking. There are a lot of nameless faces that I came across. And I mean a lot. Hundreds and hundreds. And I don't know how many of them I'm actually related to, or how many Chris actually knew herself. And it got me thinking. I'm going to be a nameless face to somebody one day. If there are any pictures of me documenting my existence. And that's an interesting thought. Doesn't really bother me one way or the other, though. It's fun to look at the pictures and wonder what the people were like. But I'll never know for sure. There are so many little photographs documenting these moments that I'm sure were significant, but have no idea what they meant. Along with these nameless faces, there are quite a few faceless names. This, I thought, was absolutely fascinating. It's a funeral book, but it's in memory of no one. There was no music, no one did the service, no bearers, no family records, no final resting place. Yet page after page of friends and relations. I don't know whose funeral this was at or why it wasn't filled in. And I don't know any of these people. But they're here, written down, documented for all eternity for no apparent reason. Page after page of floral offerings. They even had to add extra pages for relations and friends. True irony, and I saved the best for last. Vincent's birth certificate. Do not lose. I don't know which Vincent it was, because it's certainly not here. Lost to the ages.
I hope you enjoyed that. It took me a really, really long time to do because of the narration matching up with the video, but I think it worked well in the end. Allie, I apologize. I probably bored you. Emmy, I apologize. I probably made you maudlin. Allie, give me my dare because it was your birthday present, and your birthday's long past, and I'm anxious. I think that is everything I needed to get through in this video. See you next week or whatever. Emmy!